Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy, you're amazing, and thank you for showing up. Guys, we are about to talk about the beginnings of this massive backfire that has never been surpassed in the history of at least my lifetime, and maybe Tim's. We'll find out, because the numbers from swing states are coming in from the whole Trump prosecution thing, on top of the fundraising, on top of the momentum. Oh, this is going to be a thing. You guys are going to love every second of it. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Sarcasm and humor deployed on the daily. And with that, Tim, are you ready for the backfire? More than the money we've talked about already.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Because $200 million in 48 hours, bro.
Yeah. That's
a lot of dollars.
Yeah, and then Democrats screeching for Hochul to pardon Trump because
exactly.
it's days after the trial concludes. You need to pardon him. We're going to lose this election.
Oh my God! Throw water on the fire. Holy God, we're dying. Yeah. So 200 million. We were allowed. I mean, you and I both said the polls are going to come out. This is going to backfire royally. Well, it's beginning to be that time, Tim. Here we go. Let's get it. This is number 7. What I'm showing you here is from 538. Okay, so 538 is not a right-leaning poll. This is Obama's main poll guy. Okay, so this is a fairly accepted national poll from the media, to give you a good reference. He's up 1.2% nationally, Tim.
Yeah,
as of yesterday.
And look, when they
1.2%.
Well, and that's awesome. If you take a look at this graph too, you'll notice that Trump has been polling ahead of Biden pretty much for the last 3 months. But and of course the court case has been going on this long, so I think that is definitely feeding this. But then certainly at the end, we saw, a huge influx of cash into the Trump campaign after the verdict was handed out. So, it's definitely going against them. But you got to keep in mind, these national polls don't mean a whole lot, because what's more indicative of who might win a national election is taking a look at each of the individual states, especially those swing states. And in those swing states, because these averages bring the lead down, okay? So when you start looking at the individual swing states, he has more than a 1 or 2% lead in many of those states.
Oh, we're about to hit that right now. Amazing, amazing segue.
Okay, because people get excited about these national polls, but you can poll higher than your competitor and still lose the election.
Yes.
So you got to really look at the individual states.
Absolutely true.
Yep.
Absolutely true, and that's what we're going to go into, because the first state came out. Okay, this is Georgia. This is the swing state that flipped to Biden. Okay, this was the Democrats made all the big deal about this in the world. Check this out. This is number 8. Okay. And by the way, guys, we're not saying anything is a lock. You got to do all the voting. We always encourage voting. Vote, vote, vote. For the love of God, vote. Right. If a gun rights activist or gun owners voted, we would never lose an election, ever. Just saying.
Yep. Can't sit
anyway,
home.
Let's keep going. Can't sit home. So this is number 8. Following Trump's guilty verdict, first swing state poll reveals how it impacts voters' decision. Well, let me show you some of these little snippets here. Let's just jump down to number 10, where the sweet spot starts. Georgia voters favor Trump over Biden 49 to 44% in a head-to-head matchup, according to Quinnipiac. Now, Quinnipiac is a liberal poll. That is a left-leaning poll, okay? This was released Wednesday, which is taken following the former president's highly publicized and intensely scrutinized conviction on 34 counts of nothing.
Oops. They're going to have to do a lot of ballot stuffing to compensate for that 5 percentage point lead.
Were you talking about your turkey for Thanksgiving again?
Yeah.
Just now?
That's why I call the rear end of my turkey is my ballot box.
No, I totally get it. And I appreciate how incredibly forward thinking you are, because November is like 5 months away and you got to make those turkey plans.
Yes.
Because how you're actually going to prepare your turkey by stuffing it, which is what you were referencing, is obviously a very important thing to note in June. I appreciate your pragmatic approach to this.
Yep. I hope the YouTube moderators like turkey. So, all right, let's.
Who doesn't love turkey, though? Except for the vegans, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so I got more for you. Trump's lead over Biden grew to 6 points with the inclusion of independent presidential candidates.
Wow.
So we're going up even higher. Okay.
Which proves that Kennedy's sucking more votes off from Biden than Trump.
Exactly. And don't forget Cornel West. Don't forget Chase Oliver from the Libertarians, and the Green Party, Jill Stein, infamous for destroying Hillary Clinton.
Gosh, with all those combined, that's 16% of the vote. That's crazy.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, Ross Perot got 19% of the vote.
Oh God!
And he put Clinton in office, unfortunately, because those votes.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't favor the conservatives.
When you split, it's not good when you split like
no,
that.
But I voted for Perot, so I mean,
I know you told me.
I've been sick of the two-party system for my entire life.
Great. So we can blame you for the assault weapons ban of 1990.
Hey, it's sunset. Blame me for the sunset.
It's sunset. So
blame me for the sunset.
You've been forgiven. Okay, I'll blame you for the sunset. So now we're going to dive into something that I when I read these next three, a smile like the Grinch came upon my face. And I know you didn't watch that stuff when you were a kid, but for the other viewers, they did. So they know what I'm talking about. It's a big smile. That's all you need to know. So the all-important independent vote was evenly split between Trump and Biden at 45% each. So it literally had no effect on independents who decide the elections in Georgia.
Yep.
Zero effect. I would like to bring forward just a simple cost-benefit analysis that the Democrats probably ran on this one. We're going to charge him and get him put into jail, and we're going to really damage and tarnish our brand because we're going to weaponize the lawfare system. But at least his numbers are going to go down, and Biden's numbers will go up when his go down. There was no payoff, and so now Democrats are just looked as tyrants.
Yep.
Good job, guys. Your math worked so well.
And the funny thing is they were warned time and time again, even by their own propaganda outlets. You know, MSDNC and CNN and all of them. They had analysts on that were saying this isn't going to play out the way you think it is. This is not a bad. Nope. This is a bad strategy. This is a bad idea. You're gonna martyr the guy, and that's precisely what they did.
Oh, that's exactly what happened. $200 million comes in. They beg for the pardon from Kathy Hochul, like you said. You've got polling coming out that's not only not moving downward like they hoped and prayed, it's actually going upward. Yeah. Like this, they literally poured Miracle Grow on Trump.
Yep.
And they thought it was Roundup, and it was Miracle Grow. They did it wrong.
And and I would say a good number of them had to know in their heart of hearts, or dark little black souls, that this was going to backfire on them. But they just decided, well, we got to do it anyway. We got to get him out of the race. Because look, everybody knows Biden's wildly unpopular. The man can't put a sentence together.
Oh, yeah.
He stands there and talks to people that don't exist. He turns and walks off stage. At the D-Day thing, just in the last couple of days,
he tried to sit on an invisible chair.
Well, that, and they're all standing there facing the flag as Taps is playing, and he turns around and just turns his back to the flag. And then you see Macron and the other people, like they're looking at him, and Jill's standing there. They don't know what to do. And so they just kind of look at him, and he's just standing there with his back to the flag. And then they all turn and start looking at nothing too, to try to make it look normal. Did you see any of that?
Oh my God. I actually didn't see that.
Oh, man.
We need to cover that.
Yeah, it was.
We need to do a video on that.
It is so bad. And then he pooped again. then they're shuffling him off. And he's got his back to the audience, and Macron races back to shake the hands of veterans. That's all in the same video clip. He stops, bends over, makes the poop face, and then Jill hurries him off the stage, and then Macron's trying to follow him, trying to make it look normal again. But he realizes, crap, I just turned my back on these veterans, and he runs back over and starts shaking hands with veterans while Biden's shuffling off stage.
Oh, no, we'll cover that. We'll do a different thing. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
But I want to show you one more thing. Sorry to bring us back off the Rumble strip. But it's a good Rumble strip. We'll come back to it. We'll make it a road. Listen to this. Again, reinforcing this. Nightmare fuel right here, man. 50% said they agreed with the guilty verdict against Trump, while 44% said they disagreed. Okay, so about half and half. However, a whopping 54% said the verdict will have no effect on their vote, and 23% said it will make them more likely to vote for Trump.
Is that 23% that can win elections?
22%. Exactly. Only 22%, made up mostly of Democrats, said it would make them less likely to vote for Trump. So it made the people who are already not voting for him not vote for him harder. And the people in the middle and in the right are like, yeah, no, this is happening.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing ever.
And when we talk about people sitting home and not voting, like, oh, we got this in the bag. And that's the danger of, news media outlets out there saying, look at the poll numbers. Trump or Biden is wildly ahead of his opponent, And well, the people in that party that think their candidate is ahead, they're like, I don't really need to vote. We got this in the bag. And they don't vote, and then we lose.
That's true.
And so
that's true.
You got to get out there and vote. And what they've done here is they've motivated people to vote, because now people, people are pissed. And so when people get pissed, they go and they hate vote, and they're going to hate vote against Biden because of what he's doing. And I just saw on X this morning, it just cracks me up, where Biden made another post calling Trump a dictator. And, he
what?
Yeah, 22 hours ago, to surrender to bullies is to bow down to dictators. And it's simply unthinkable. Make no mistake, we'll never bow down. And my response to that was, what are some things that a dictator might do? Persecute and imprison his political rivals, weaponize the state against its own people, ignore SCOTUS decisions and do what you want anyway, rig elections, ballot harvesting, and mail-in voting, etc. And then I linked to a news
like through turkeys.
Yeah, through turkeys, through the rear end of turkeys. And then we have the Newsweek article that I linked to talking about a former Democrat calling Biden literally a fascist dictator. So, yeah,
it's weird,
crazy, huh? But yeah,
but we have to save democracy, though. Oh my goodness, look at that! How's that for a segue to this last?
We got to save the form of government we don't have. Quick, everybody, save the democracy.
Exactly.
If you can,
we have to save it.
Find an actual democracy on a map, please, and show it to me.
please go save it. Please go save
Wherever it is, we're going to save it.
A democracy. But it's important because they went ahead and pulled this too. Tim, voters also believe Trump would be the best candidate to preserve democracy, 49-46. Oh, God, it's so good.
Yeah.
The Biden administration has literally made this the cornerstone of their entire Democratic campaign for the last 2 to 3 years. And now voters in Georgia are going, yeah, Trump's better for democracy for 3 by 3 points.
Look, the vast majority of American voters care about issues, border, cost of living, price of gas.
Inflation.
Right?
Economy.
Right. That's what most people vote on. And all the Biden camp has to campaign on is Trump's going to be a dictator, taking everything he's ever said out of context. Trump is talking about the issues and Biden's talking about dictators and saving democracy. And he is the dictator that is destroying democracy, the constitutional republic that we actually have. And to those of you in the comment section that say, well, we have elements of democracy in our republic, and therefore we can just call it democracy. No, it's two distinctly different forms of government. That's why they have two different names. If they were the same, they'd be under the same name. That's like saying, well, your truck's really a car because they both have 4 wheels. No, one's a truck, one's a car.
It's kind of like they do that democratic socialism thing, that play on words.
Yeah.
We like democratic socialism.
It's democracy. Well, it's democratic socialism. It's just socialism where we vote on a couple of things. That's democracy. No, it's socialism. So anyway, yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there about how bad the bleeding is beginning. I just thought you'd find that.
I think it's going to ramp
joyful.
up. I can't wait to see what the polling looks like after the first debate, because I still think that the DNC is thinking about shelving Biden, and that's why they've put the debate so far ahead of their own convention.
All right.
So,
all right, hold on. Let's explore this for a second. No, I want to explore this. I have a very solid, at least thought process that they will not do that. So you think they still might?
Well, I don't know. I think that there's definitely a reason why they put the debate so far ahead of the Democratic National Convention. There's a reason for that.
I would agree. I would agree. That is 100%
trying
true.
to figure out what that reason might be is what we're all
But they
struggling
also
with.
moved it to a digital national convention.
Well, that's because they're just trying to get on the voter rolls in Ohio, because if they don't pick a candidate before a certain date in Ohio, which the Democratic National Convention falls after that date, then he won't be on the ballot in the swing state of Ohio. So that's why they're doing this digital.
Ohio's lost.
But that's why they're doing that.
He's not getting Ohio.
Well, I know, but they need the votes because they got to try. So
I think he lost it by 13 points last time,
and it should be worse this time.
It should be. But my thought is, I don't think that they're going to remove him, and the only reason that I don't think that they are is because it's too late to fully transition to another candidate 5 months before the election and still not feel an abrupt, just a jarring effect to the existing Democrats.
But look,
here's my.
I was just going to say, there's an easy way out of him for him to do this. So if he doesn't do well in the debates, then he'll have a medical emergency. And they'll have no choice. They'll say,
100%.
He's just ill, therefore we have to run somebody else. And, our prayers were with, the president and all this other stuff, but we're going to have to install somebody else. So there is a path for them to do that. And I don't think they're just going to say, well, he did poorly in the debate, so we're just going to have to yank him and put somebody else in there. No, they're going to come up with an excuse like, he's in the hospital, he's very, very ill, and, we want to do him a solid and
they will,
appoint somebody else to take over the reins. Now, who would that be? We don't know. We've seen Gavin Newsom throw his hat in the ring. Michelle Obama's been floated. I don't think that's going to happen. And then the other alternative is even worse than Biden, and that's Harris. So.
Well, but so here's the thing, though, and I'm enjoying this because you have an element there of forward planning as well, that the Democrats aren't going to want to burn one of their future potential candidates on something 5 months before an election, going in with Trump having such momentum. So I think genuinely they're going to do an all-out push to get Biden across the finish line with that old, decrepit, gangly horse. But they don't want to bring a new horse in too late, where they don't have the marketing spin up, where they don't have the brand recognition, where they don't have the Democratic support behind everything. Like, for example, say you have a Gavin Newsom or you have a Gretchen Whitmer. If you put them in 5 months before an election and they have a loss on their record for the presidential, what you've just done is you've now marred their potential future in the Democratic presidential column because they've got a loss on their record. Some people just don't like people who have lost before, and it's automatically instilling a L in the minds of a lot of Democratic voters.
How many times did Biden lose before he finally became president?
Biden was a very special case, and you know it because there was turkeys. So Thanksgiving came twice that year.
He got turkey backdoored. Yeah,
exactly. That was a very special case, and that was also over like 40 years. So you take that and stuff your turkey. How about that?
Yeah, see, I caught you there. Well, anyway, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm really looking forward to our conversations after the debate. You're going to have to fire up that recording application and record all the stuff that goes back and forth between the two, because I think that's going to make for some great political commentary. Thanks for watching Second Legacy, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon.